Yes, folks, welcome back to another match preview here on Talking Wolves. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe, and we are here to preview Wolves' home game this Monday evening up against Everton. It seems like an absolute age since we've been at Molineux, but it'll be great to get back to the Golden Palace. And fingers crossed we can continue this little impressive unbeaten run we're on. Could have been so different last week, but we'll talk about that a little bit more shortly. We'll have the Everton perspective as always as well, guys. But let us know your thoughts ahead of this game in the comment section down below. And as always, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new or you haven't already. And before we start off, I know it seems a little bit early to be talking about Christmas, but over on the Talking Wolves website, we have got an exclusive Wolves Christmas card. It is a Feliz Navidad, a Rafa Benitez special, so be sure to go and check that out. Not many places, or you will find very little Wolves-themed Christmas cards, so I think they're really well priced, so go and check those out and grab your loved ones something a little bit different this Christmas. But Everton at Wolves on Monday, and I'm hoping that we can bounce back. Everton themselves, from an outside point of view, obviously we'll hear what the Everton perspective later on. From an outside point of view, I think they look a little bit fragile at the moment. They've not made the worst start in the world under Benitez this season, but I think their most recent game against Watford has sort of opened a few cracks, and the Everton fan base aren't too sure and aren't too happy with what's been going on over the last few weeks there. So I'm hoping that Wolves can really take advantage of it. And I think Bruno Lage and our team have still got something to prove as well. We've gone on a nice little run of beating Southampton, Newcastle, then a good win against Villa. But then last week's game against Leeds, it's strange because although we drew the game and didn't lose, it still sort of feels like a loss. Probably mainly because we sort of had the lead for so long in the game and then chucked it away quite late on. But we didn't play fantastically well, and we sort of played quite negatively as well. So I'm hoping that was a bit of a wake-up call for Bruno and the coaching staff to say, right, maybe we should try and get this team playing like we were playing in those first three games. Because let's face it, those first three games of the season, Leicester, Manchester United and Spurs, two of which were at Molineux, was some of the best football we've seen Wolves play in a couple of years, really. And we have not really seen it since. So I'm hoping that we can start to see this more attractive, this more attacking football again. Because against teams like Leeds, or let's say a Leeds that had lots of injuries, if we played that attacking style of football, we would be 2 points better off than where we are in the league right now. And on Saturday evening, we should have been in fourth place in the league, which is unbelievable, it sounds like, really. So I'm hoping we see this more attractive and attacking football again. In terms of team news, it's a little bit weird because obviously I've been able to do the preview a little bit later than normal, which is good, I suppose, in a way, because we've heard what Bruno has had to say ahead of the game. In terms of team news, Willy Body is available for selection and possibly back in contention for a starting place. If I'm completely honest, I don't think he will start. We'll go through the predicted lineup in a second. But Marçal is also not available. So it was a massive opportunity for Ryan Aït-Nouri last week. I think he played pretty well. Unfortunately, had to come off a little bit early because he picked up a knock. But as long as he's fresh and available, which I'm assuming he is, he will be in with a start again on Monday evening against Everton, which I'm sure loads and loads of fans are looking forward to seeing him play once again. And it's now, you would expect, as long as he puts in a decent level of performances, this left wing back spot is hit for his to lose. Marçal did, can I say okay? He did sort of what he needed to do. But it just felt like unless he was suspended or injured, it was going to take Aït-Nouri a little while to break into the team. Now, this is the golden opportunity for him to try and solidify this place in the team. Such a young and talented player, and hopefully we can start to see the best from down that left-hand side and a little bit more attacking impetus as well into the team. Hopefully a change like that will help us going forward in creating more opportunities as well. But other than that, other than the Willy Bolly and Marçal news, it's as it was really. Johnny, obviously, we've started to see him do some gym work again. It's going to be really intriguing to see what happens with his future and where he is in Wolves' plans for the future. Bruno Jordão, we've seen come back into the team, into training, sorry. Oscar Burn, who'd been out on loan at Grasshoppers last year, he'd come back to Wolves in the summer due to quite a serious injury. He came back into the under-23s team and got an assist for the winner during this week as well. So slowly but surely, possibly not the players and all the top players that you'd like to see returning for Wolves, but slowly but surely a little bit more quality and strength and depth is possibly returning into the team. Neto, I'd assume we might have an update on that over the next week or so, hopefully. But at the moment, as of 5 o'clock on Friday evening, nothing new on Pedro Neto either at the moment. And we could do with somebody like him going forward in this team. But let's move on to my predicted lineup anyway for this game. As always, it's probably pretty straightforward. At least half of the pitches. Jose Sarr for me will start in goal again. There's been some great stats flying around on social media about Jose Sarr over the last couple of weeks or so. And it's slowly but surely proven a few doubters wrong, I think, regarding him. A lot of people weren't happy with him to replace Rui Patricio, but I think some of these stats and some of his performances are starting to prove some of these doubters wrong. Talking about stats as well, Nelson Semedo, I think he's got the highest percentage in the top 5 leagues of stopping attempted dribbles, which is a fantastic stat. And again, another player with a lot of doubters. I've got to say, over the last few weeks, I've doubted him myself, but to look at that side of the game, you've got to take your hat off to him, and hopefully we can see him start to contribute towards a few more goals. I think the back three will be unchanged. I'll go with Romain Saiz, Connor Cody, and Max Kilman. Didn't have much to do. They did have much to do against Leeds, but didn't really cause themselves many issues. Unfortunately, we sort of stupidly gave away that penalty in the end. And Ryan Aït-Nouri, who we've spoken a little bit about earlier on in the video, at left wing back. The middle two for me is strange. I think we have to reintroduce Ruben Neves. Again, he's another one. When you look at the metrics this season, has got really, really decent metrics going forward, and proves that, going forward and attacking, he's a lot stronger than maybe than he was last year. Next to him, I'd probably stick Moutinho again. I know it's a duo that not many people really like, but for me, Dendoncker I don't think was phenomenal last week, and I think those two have got to start in the middle. And then the front three for me is just mind-boggling. I would not know. I think Hwang has got to keep his place. Top goal scorer, scored again against Leeds. Hwang has got to keep his place. Jimenez has got to keep his place. And it's that right-hand side. Trincao, Adama, Podence. Who knows? Again, it's a healthy headache for Bruno Lage to have. But at the same time, when you've got players like Adama who, on their day, can be so influential, I think Adama's got to start. I think he's got to start only because whenever he comes off the bench, I just don't think he does enough. And I know a lot of people think, right, let's bring Adama on in the 60th, 70th minute, and he's going to inject all this pace and this power into the team. And I don't think he does. I think it takes him a while to actually grow into the games. So I would start Adama, but Trincao and Podence are probably wondering what they have to do to get into the team. However, saying that, I said it a few weeks ago. I may have said it during one of the Talking Wolves podcasts. Trincao offers something a lot more technically than what Adama does. Adama adds the physicality into the team. I think Trincao offers the technical side of things. So it really just depends on how Bruno Lage reads the game and how he expects the game to go. So it's going to be one of those, I think, anyway. So I've spoken enough about Wolves going into this game. Let's learn a little bit more about Everton, our opponents for Monday. Unfortunately, I'm very jealous of Mike from the Blue Boys Network. He sent me in a video. I couldn't chat to him live because he's abroad at the moment, but he has given me his thoughts ahead of this game, what we can expect from Everton and how their season's been going so far.
What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again from the Blue Boys Network. Dave, thanks for having me on as always, mate. Really appreciate it. Tough game, this one, for both sides for different reasons. Everton coming into the game off the back of two disappointing home results. Everton have started the season really well. I think we lost 1 in 7, and then it ended up being 2 in 8, and now it's 3 in 9. Which is sort of, it's made the start of the season look a little bit average. Everton sit, I think it's 8th on 14 points. 2 disappointing home games as well. Losing 1-0 to West Ham, they're a good side, but I think Everton would have wanted 3 points for a minimum of a draw. And the Watford game last week, I think that shocked everyone, to be honest. Losing 5-2 at home to Watford is a shocker. So, yeah, poor games. As a result, Everton go into this game, I would say, not massively confident. I think this is a game that Wolves are more than capable of winning for obvious reasons. Firstly, it looks like they've turned their early form around. They were playing okay at the start of the season. It just looked like they couldn't put the ball in the net, whereas now they look like they've started to find their feet a little bit. So, the ability of Jimenez in the air, I don't necessarily want to say Adama Traore because I know a lot of Wolves fans' opinions on him, but when you look at Wolves and you look at the way that they play, if you can stop the wingers, you usually stand a bit of a chance. But they've changed the way they play this season. They can adapt. Trincao has been a fantastic signing. The other lads you've signed up front got a couple of goals the other week, showing what he's capable of coming into this side. So it's a tough game, and my prediction early on is 1-1. In terms of Everton as a whole, I think it's Everton had a quiet window really. We spent £2 million essentially on 4 players, and Andros Townsend and Damari Gray have been fantastic. Certainly Damari Gray has been brilliant. He's able to carry the ball. He can beat a man. He's prepared to let a shot off whenever he's required. And this is a guy that Everton have needed, someone like that for a long, long time. We have had players like that, but him coming into the club was a real positive. And for £1.7 million, there's no real worry with it either. You sell him for a loss or he goes on a free, but in terms of money wise for a Premier League club, 1.7 million is nothing these days. So yeah, he's been a great addition. Andros Townsend has been fantastic as well. But then when you look at Begovic isn't going to play over Pickford, and Rondon has already played far too many games, in my opinion. He's clearly not good enough for Everton and probably the Premier League level as a whole. He struggles to move, he struggles to hold the ball up. He's just not very good. So he's probably the worst of our summer signings, I'd say. But yeah, and that leads us on to the manager, Rafa Benitez. He came into the club and he started really well. And I understand a lot of Everton fans were against Rafa before because of the Liverpool connection, and there's still a lot of fans that will not say his name. Me, on the other hand, I was okay. I was all right with it. I sort of got on with it. Rafa Benitez has got the experience that I think Everton need. The issue you have with Rafa, and he's done this at every club he's been at, he goes on a losing run. And if he goes on a losing run, with the fact he's an old Liverpool manager, I think a lot of Everton fans will get on his back very quickly. People seem to forget this is an Everton football team that spent £500 million in 5 years. It's a lot of money that we have wasted on players like Iwobi. And although that's not Rafa's fault, at some point there needs to be a moment where this team clicks, and I think it would be ideal if it was under Rafa Benitez. In terms of Everton as a whole, there's a lot of questions being raised about the board. Everton have a new stadium on the horizon, so it's very positive. But, I sat there on the Don Robbie show 3 weeks ago now, and we just come off the back of a 1-1 draw with Man United at Old Trafford, a game that we almost won right at the end. And I was really buoyant going into these next 3 games, the 3 Ws, Wolves, Watford and West Ham in ascending order. And we've not picked up a point. And to not do that at Goodison's been really disappointing. So I'm hoping for a bounce back from Everton. I really am. Do I expect it? I really don't know. Because I think both teams can win this game. Everton can certainly win it with the pace for Richarlison, Damari Gray and Townsend can get in behind Wolves. I don't think Wolves look as solid as they have in the past, but they play better football in my opinion. Going forward, Wolves have shown they can score. So again, don't get me wrong, I don't think Wolves have scored lots of goals this season, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a tough game. Molineux just come off the back of a draw against Leeds, if I'm not mistaken, a game that, you looked good. You did a job. We got a 2-2 draw with Leeds, so, no issues from from probably your perspective, maybe you'd want to win there. So, I don't know. I really don't know what way this goes. I could see it being 3-0 either way. I could see it being a 1-1 draw. So, I'm going with 1-1. I'll leave it there. Guys, make sure you come over and subscribe to myself and the Blue Boys Network. Really appreciate it. And obviously, hit the like button for Dave and the channel here. He's doing a phenomenal job. Absolutely brilliant channel. So, just make sure you keep supporting him. He deserves all the success he gets. And I'm not going to wish you luck for Monday. However, I wish you luck for the rest of the season, and hopefully see you guys soon. Peace.
So big thanks to Mike. Really do appreciate it. You can check out his channel, the Blue Boys Network. Fantastic. Loads of character in his channel and loads of banter. Really, really good channel, the Blue Boys Network. If you are an Everton fan and you want someone new to follow. And my score prediction chat, I'm gonna go with a solid 1-0 Wolves. Can we keep a clean sheet? I hope so, and I think we'll nick it 1-0 and hopefully creep us up the table, and that would take us to 5 games unbeaten, which would be really, really solid. As always though, guys, be sure to hit the like button down below. Let me know your thoughts ahead of this game and subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all very, very soon.